What's up, guys? It's Dana Yellow here. We're ballin' today, tomorrow, and most definitely yesterday, and for the next 7 years. At what cost? $7.7 billion. This just came in. There's no Formula One. There's nothing else going on in the world except UFC has found a new home, from 2026 onwards. Well, for now, 7 years, which, 2026, you add 7 years, 2033 is going to be the next time that we find another home. But Dana White made the deal. UFC made the deal. UFC owned by TKO Group, I think they're called. They also got WWE and a bunch of other, kind of like sports entertainment entities, let's just call it. This is it. Of course, this is only exclusive media rights for the US. So as of right now, the news that I'm talking about is specifically towards the UFC in the US, more for the US audience. But, as a European member, this is great to hear. I think big picture wise, I think this is good news for UFC fans. All right. I don't know too much about the UFC athletes. I know there will be, things that probably will change because of this in terms of the athletes and the money involved with the athletes. Starting in 2026, all 13 numbered events and 30 fight nights will be available for anyone with a Paramount Plus subscription. I know. I wish I was sponsored by them right now. This would make this even that much better. But let me just say this. The pay-per-view model is kind of being scrapped. It's kind of getting deleted now, at least when it comes to UFC. Yes, boxing might still be a different thing. I mean, if the big boxing fights are all in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, I don't see why they would do like a Paramount deal, something like that. But with UFC, they're on pretty much every weekend. It's gonna be epic. I mean, this is seriously gonna be super fucking epic. Dude, no more pay-per-view means I'm gonna save so much money. Hell yeah. I mean, it's like I'm gonna save so much money compared to all the money I was spending on the pay-per-views before. Man, it was digging a hole in my pocket. And we finally escaped that one. You know what I'm saying? Financially, it hasn't been easy at all. But now it's going to get so much easier. Hell yeah. Awesome. Yeah, all right. And again, I want to repeat, this is only for the U.S. audience. For now, confirmed, this $7.7 billion is for the U.S. media rights. It still hasn't. This is not like a global expansion. But I did a little research. Paramount now holds a 30-day exclusive window to negotiate international distribution. All right. As soon as their current deal, this US deal, goes into effect. So pretty much I think what that means in theory, right? Because I don't got like insider information and I don't fucking know anything about finance or private equity shit or whatever this is. Something to do with money, something to do with balling at what cost. But I think this means soon as we get to the new year, January 1st to January 30th, Paramount's going to be talking to the UFC about what number they can land on for the global rights. And I don't see a reason why Paramount won't take advantage of this 30-day exclusive window to negotiate. So this is all really good. I mean, like, this is fantastic. First of all, Dana White just got richer. I mean, he already lives a very, very lavish lifestyle. You know, I mean, like, think about it. It's like, did Dana White really have to get richer? I mean, like, you know what would be super awesome is that if they had some kind of drama already before 2026 with some, you know, top UFC athletes going like, oh, I want to renegotiate because of this deal. I think Dana White should just donate all his profits that he made from this deal, because why not, dude? Okay, or maybe like take like 25% of it, like keep it in your own pocket, and let's just say that's your 2026 to 2033 gambling credit. Should we say that? I think for Dana White, that would be better. I mean, he's always going to be, you know, playing blackjack and whatnot. So, okay, yeah, exactly. So let's just say to keep the drama away, of course, TKO Group, the group that owns UFC, they probably got a big piece of that pie. However, I'm just saying, Dana White, I know you got a piece of that pie too. Put 25% of it into your gambling credit and expenses. Sorry, I knew that was going to happen. My rice has just been completed, and that's right. I'm Dana Yellow, I told you. Not Alexei Pukanigan. I'm Dana Yellow. My rice just got done. Very, you know, honestly, the best quality type of rice because, you know, I just made the $7.7 million deal. And I hope Dana uses some of that, or TKO Group, I hope you use some of that piece of the pie for the athletes, because I know there's definitely some huge athletes that have, like, it's like literally in their deal that they have like a pay-per-view points thing, they get a percentage and whatnot. And I think that this is going to stir things up when it comes to that subject. I'm just saying, you know, yes, of course, yes, I agree to the recent news that UFC Apex are expanding too. They're going to try to expand so that they can, what was the number, 5,000 to 10,000 seater. So they can get like a still like not fully unlimited audience, but like, of course, every stadium's got a limit to it, but then just at least get a solid crowd in there every time you have a UFC Apex fight night. And I think this is a better way. Look, I'm not trying to like look too far into the future, but if you get a UFC Las Vegas Apex type of homegrown stadium that becomes like a Las Vegas tourist destination, then you don't have to like go all out with the T-Mobile Arena and the like before pay-per-view or whatever. I think just kind of make a UFC in Las Vegas exclusively Apex, make it like the home of this is the home court of the UFC type of thing. There's the home coliseum of the UFC. And that's where like the most savage up and coming martial artists can, like, you know, get their first, you know, few fights out of their system. They can train at the PI, and then that way the numbered events, instead of, you know, putting fucking 3 in Las Vegas or whatever the number is, let's throw them over here in Europe, because we have Tom Aspinall as a heavyweight champion. We have Ilia Topuria that is making a fucking run for it. Let's make that happen. All right. This is what I ultimately envisioned in the future of this deal. Okay, because they announced the UFC Apex thing as well. Okay, yes, pay-per-view's gone. Great. Let's the pay-per-views that were originally going to be in Las Vegas at T-Mobile Arena, throw those overseas over here in Europe for the European fans. I mean, think about how many freaking Georgians are eager to travel to Spain or UK or France or whatever for a numbered event instead of like trying to go to Las Vegas. And then the fight nights that are UFC Apex are these legendary, like, this is where it begins. This is the where we literally just cultivate these killers and bring them to the next step of the UFC world and get yourself ranked and all, the whole shebang. I'm so fucking excited for this. You guys have no idea. Because it's just going to make it simpler. And I think for UFC to go to Paramount was the smartest decision to do. Not that I have like crazy experience about Paramount, but let me get a sip of water here before I really go for the races. Look, TKO Group owns WWE too. And WWE is right now on Netflix, right? And I think it's perfect for Netflix. Like, genuinely, it's sports entertainment, right? And Netflix are all about entertainment. All the juiciest stuff is at Netflix, like kind of like the over dramatize, like entertainment, like the over dramatization, the whole thing, right? That's Netflix. But if you want just like the highest quality, but like regular programming, like sports, I think something like Paramount and, CBS, that's where the UFC should be heading towards. If every sporting league is heading towards the subscription-based streaming services, well then I think this is the best thing they could do. I mean, they're saying Formula One is going to go to Apple TV, and NFL has been with YouTube for a couple years now, a couple seasons, right? And I think they're taking another step upwards next season or the upcoming season. So this, I think, like, image-wise, like, for now talking about the potential UFC fans for the upcoming 7 years, Paramount Plus is going to be the place where it's going to be able to, like, sink its teeth in, or whatever the fucking saying is, like, really put the foot down, right, and then grow the ultimate base from there. Because this is why I love the UFC. This is why I had to join in as soon as I started following along, because I think UFC ultimately, combat sports, martial arts, ultimately is more real as like sports than anything to do with like a ball. And I'll say that on record. All right. Because, like, that's just, like, we're just trying to kill each other, man. The other sports, it's like we're trying to kill each other, but they're in the form of a ball, and it's kind of like the ball dictates the reason to kill each other. This is like we're just standing face to face as two humans, and we try to kill each other. That's it. Yes, there's technique. Yes, it's martial arts, different martial arts, mixed martial arts. But I think Paramount doing this deal means that UFC, as a sporting organization, is as legitimate as the NBA, as the NFL, as Formula One. It's up there now. Like, it's up there. Like, I'm talking seriously a little bit too much like Dana White. I mean, I know I'm Dana Yellow, but still, he said these words, kinda. He was like, this deal kind of like is evidence that we're there. We're there amongst the best sports in the world. Sports, period. Like sports, not even just as an organization. I think this was a big leap for MMA when it comes to publicity. Right? Like the big picture, like just the regular folks that really don't give a fuck about that violent crap and they can't stand the sight of blood or whatever. It takes a little step forward. So congratulations. I really wanted to say a couple words from the heart, and congratulations to Dana White. Why, you might be asking yourself, why can't they do this already next month? Why can't this deal come into effect already in September, let's just say? Well, let's assume, I'm assuming the UFC are sending a good handful of UFC athletes to complete a PR training course before 2026. I think for a couple of those guys, it might be important. Of course, I don't know if this is going to change things in terms of how the UFC operates, but let's just say 7.7 billion, 1.1 billion per year. Of course, it's been confirmed actually that they're not going to literally just do a 1.1 bill every year. I think they're going to do most of it in the beginning, and then it kind of like goes down from there. But yeah, if they're paying that kind of bag, you really think they're going to accept Sean Strickland going up there and going freaking full psychopath mode? I don't know. I really don't know. And to be fair, I think some things might change. There's going to be slightly, someone like Bryce Mitchell, if he does one of those crazy rants again, or another athlete does one of those kind of rants, I think there's going to be bigger repercussions. Seriously. So let's just be okay with okay, sorry. I didn't mean to go negative. It's all very positive. It's very, very positive. And look at this. Then we have a UFC 319 in Chicago at the Windy City to just give us a taste. Now, I'm not saying, like, of course, this is like, it doesn't even come into effect now, but like, let's just say there's the freaking Paramount Executives all in the VIP box or whatever. They're gonna be there for UFC 319. They're gonna want to see the best. They're gonna want to see $7.7 billion worth of entertainment in one goddamn night. And I think, I'm not talking out of my ass. This is not even an opinion. I looked at this freaking fight night, this UFC 319, and all the matchups. I think they're trying to do it, man, because there's not a single name that I don't recognize, and it's genuine matchups from both sides. And I think they're looking for quite a lot of savageness. They're looking for it, really. I mean, look, second fight in, they have Brian Battle, this U.S. guy who kind of has this I don't give a fuck kind of attitude, versus Nursultan Ruziboev from Uzbekistan. They're trying to bring the heat, dude. This is the second fight of the night. They're already trying to bring in the heat. Then right out in early prelims, my dog, is Edson Barboza. going against Drakkar Klose, brothers from the United States, so I guess I can pronounce his name however I want. These two guys, well, we all know Edson Barboza, seasoned veteran, absolute savage. Probably one of the best, like the most like physique-wise, insane physique of all time in the UFC. I genuinely think so. And Drakkar Klose, he's shown glimpses of savageness. Of course, he got brutally knocked out by Beneil Dariush, but he almost brutally knocked out Beneil Dariush before he got brutally knocked out. And this is the early prelims, a.k.a. Theo Vaughn watch. Theo Vaughn's over there with the telescope, or his two telescopes, just freaking like a freaking AI robot, man, just freaking tracking all the information down. I'm talking a little bit like Theo Vaughn right now, but shout out to Theo Vaughn. I hope he's going to be out there following along from the early prelims. Then we go to the prelims. I mean, like, let me just name a couple of these names, all right? Chase Hooper's fighting. Boom. He fought, dude, he just fought recently, homie G. What are you doing? What are you doing again? April 12th. Yeah. He fought Jim Miller. That's insane. Yeah. He won against Jim Miller. Of course, if he didn't, that would have been embarrassing. But yeah, Chase Hooper back once again, and he's going against Alexander Hernandez. Alexander Hernandez also pretty damn well known, doing his work. Fought last time in March 15th, 2025. Has potential. I mean, then we get a little U.S. versus U.S. action. Just two guys that the crowd's going to be cheering for, and they're just going to bring in the show. Jessica Andrade next, going against Lupi Godinez. Oh, my goodness gracious. So we have a straight Latina versus a gay Latina. Dude, come on. UFC 319. You got to stop bringing the heat, man. The Windy City might blow it all off. I mean, Jessica Andrade, savage. Lupi Godinez, also savage. Jessica coming off of a loss. Lupi Godinez coming off of a win. Jessica kind of got outclassed last time, but I think Jessica's still Jessica, so I think she'll be doing well. Lupi Godinez been winning. She's on the more positive side of things, and she's always gonna wait. Lupi doesn't have the reach advantage. Yo, I just double checked this. Lupi Godinez does not have the reach advantage against Jessica. This is kind of crazy, actually. Lupi definitely has potential, but I think Jessica might just. I think Jessica's gonna bounce back with an instant win. Like, that's as easy as it gets. I think she's gonna put a pace on Lupi. Hopefully Lupi can defend. But like I said, two Latinas going in on the prelims. Next up, two big old white boys. One from the other side of the pond. One technically from the other side of the pond, but you know, he's American. Gerald Meerschaert, which is Meerschaert, which is, I think, Dutch. And the other guy, dude, this guy's a savage, dude. Michal Oleksiejczuk from Poland. If you didn't know yet, now you know. I think Oleksiejczuk got this. I think so. But then again, Meerschaert also been always very, very active. Fought April 5th. Nah, I think I got Oleksiejczuk. Oleksiejczuk, gonna pop him with the freaking jab. I don't remember Gerald having the craziest head movement. But Gerald does have the reach advantage. However, that pop of the jab that Mikhail got is pretty freaking dangerous. Lightweight bout next with King Green versus Diego Ferreira. I mean, this one's going to be one of those scraps. Both men coming off of a loss. So quite a lot riding on the line. But Diego Ferreira is a proven savage. So is King Green. However, King Green, veteran, like real ass veteran, made his octagon debut 2012, over a decade in the game, 38 years old as well. I just hope, hey dude, you know what? I just hope King Green don't take too much damage, man. That's all I'm going to say, man. I hope his defense is on point, because if he starts eating nasty shots from Diego Ferreira, even if he stays up, I'm not going to like it. It's going to make me a little bit sad. Diego, take it easy. All right. But, King Green, throw some wild shit, man. Hey, dude, the crowd's going to go crazy if King Green knocks out a friggin' Brazilian. Come on. And then we go into the main card. Oh, my goodness gracious me, man. Let's go into the main card. We have Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. Fuck. Damn, dude. I'm sorry, Kai. Do not send the fucking Yakuza on me. Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. Tim Elliott ranked number 11. Kai Asakura ranked number 15. This is a men's flyweight bout. Tim has been gone for a while. Everybody loves Tim Elliott, but he hasn't fought since 2023, so we've missed him quite a long time, long time, if I may say so myself. But he's been going back and forth with Kai Asakura on the social media for quite a while, so there is a legitimate build up to this fight. This is Asakura's second fight in the UFC, although in some ways it's his first real fight in the UFC. I mean, he got the title shot in his first fight in the UFC against Alexander Pantoja. Not discrediting Kai Asakura's abilities as a professional athlete. However, it's just this is more of a level playing ground. I'm not saying Kai could maybe one day be there up top once again with Alexander Pantoja. However, as of right now, he's got to prove that he can outclass Tim Elliott, who's been gone for more than a year. Almost 2 years. Practically 2 years. Kai Asakura, I got you winning, so respect, brother. And sorry for mispronouncing your name. I'm nervous. Jared Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page is the next fight. Cannonier, ranked 9. Michael Venom Page, still ranked at 15, though. And this is a middleweight division fight. Nothing against Jared Cannonier, but I think Michael Venom Page is going to start doing his little, goofy stuff, which makes him really hard to even do any damage on. And I just think it's going to be way too difficult to catch him with anything like seriously damaging. So, I don't like saying this. I think Jared Cannonier, honestly, on his best day, could just freaking send Michael Venom Page to the Shadow Realms. And, that would be obviously kind of entertaining. But I'm just playing the picks here. I think it's going to be a classic Michael Venom Page decision win. You know, he's going to do enough damage, be up on the significant strikes, and after 15 minutes, he gets his hand raised. All right. Then we go to the fight before the co-main event, but I think this is the real co-main event, and I don't know how the hell this is not the co-main event. I mean, I'm honestly pretty fucking baffled. Geoff Neal goes against Carlos Prates for the welterweight rankings, dude. Geoff Neal, ranked number 11. Carlos Prates, ranked number 12. I think if Prates, gets one of those fighting nerds KOs, brutal KOs, outclassed KO, TKO, and he's smoking a Marlboro Red, possibly walking out of the octagon on Saturday night, then I think Carlos Prates should be pretty near the top 5 in the welterweight division. Yes, he lost to Ian Gary in a 5-rounder decision, but if anyone is going to convince Dana White or, the Paramount Executives that they made the right deal on Saturday night in Chicago, I think it's going to be a guy like Carlos Prates, who is just going to freaking brutally send you to the Shadow Realm. And to be fair, I don't even think you can send Geoff Neal to the Shadow Realm because this guy's an absolute savage. All right? He don't even fucking tap when Shavkat Rakhmonov's choking him, which is still one of the great fights where Geoff Neal really showed too, like he can fucking stand and bang with the best of them. And Shavkat Rakhmonov fucking, probably going to be in the conversation for the belt soon, wherever he is. I really don't know where he is right now, what he is doing. I'm not going to harass the brother, so I'll just let it go. But Carlos Prates, my money's on you. And I'm just saying, just show him that you're $7.7 billion worth, because I think you are. Truthfully. We're smoking on Marlboro Reds Saturday night. And this is, again, like I said, if anything's going to be fight of the night, yes, maybe Carlos Prates doesn't get the, fighting nerds knockout and performance of the night. But we might get fight. We most definitely probably will get fight of the night with this matchup, because Geoff Neal is also a savage that's ready to freaking go. So then next up, we have this fucking fraud-ass co-main. I'm sorry I got to let a bit of anger out, but no disrespect to the two athletes. I'm baffled. Lerone Murphy, ranked number 6 in the featherweight division, goes against Aaron Pico, who is unranked and is having his UFC debut. Now, he comes from Bellator, then PFL. More recently, he's fought in the PFL. And this is one of those, statistical, you just see the numbers on the paper, and then you're going all right, dude, these two have to go up against each other, I guess. Lerone Murphy's average fight time is 14 minutes, 57 seconds. And all of his fights have been 15 minutes, I'm pretty sure. And Aaron Pico is 13-4 in his pro record with only 2 decisions ever. So I think this is one of those where Lerone Murphy really likes to take it to the decision, and Aaron Pico is always ready to send people to the Shadow Realm. I think he had 6 first-round TKOs. So I'm just trying to figure out if the UFC want Murphy to be sent to the Shadow Realm, or for if they want Aaron Pico to get tortured for 15 minutes. And right now, dude, I honestly think Lerone Murphy is going to torture Aaron Pico for 15 minutes. I genuinely think so. Lerone Murphy, definitely a big, name from this side of the world, and especially in the smaller weight divisions. So Aaron Pico, you can try. Again, this is one of those moments where if I knew what the UFC were up to, it'd be easier. But as of right now, I'm leaning towards Aaron Pico. Then we go to the main event. This is it. This is for the middleweight championship of the world. Dricus du Plessis, who is the current champion, goes against Khamzat Chimaev, a.k.a. Boars. I don't know what to say, guys. This is insane. Khamzat Chimaev is ranked number 3. What the fuck? And it's 2025. And this guy's getting a title shot. It's weird, huh? Don't you guys find that a little weird? I mean, don't you find that a little bit of weird? Because he came in, his first 3 fights in the UFC were being treated like this is the bigger Habib, or this is, like serious, like fuck Sean O'Malley, type of thing, where it's just like, this guy is insane. And now we're here in 2025, and he gets the title shot against who a lot of us a few years ago never thought this guy was championship worthy, but now he's defended his title multiple times. DDP, Dricus du Plessis. I mean, this is an absolutely insane matchup of like 2 very different fighting styles and 2 very different type of people too. So first of all, Allahu Akbar. Respect. Second of all, African versus Arab in Chicago. Low-key sounds like a headline news article of a food delivery gone wrong. Yeah, dude. Like I'm telling you, this is there's some weird stuff here. Like there must be some kind of big, maybe Chicago is quite international. It might be. And third of all, why do I have doubts about both gentlemen, even though they are proven savages? Like, this is weird. Khamzat Chimaev is 14-0. And Dricus du Plessis has been champion, defended the belt multiple times. Why do I question what? I mean, like, this is an insane matchup, but it's still, there's doubt. There's doubt with both sides of the gentleman. Can anyone weather the storm of Khamzat Chimaev whenever he goes for the takedown? Like, seriously going for the takedown and just like trying to overpower you. Does that even work when it is a guy the size of DDP? Does Khamzat go 5 rounds middleweight no problem with Dricus, who is very active at all times, very weird? I mean, that's the whole thing, I think, at least with Khamzat Chimaev, is there's not been that many weird fighters. Like, he hasn't fought any weird-ass fighters. And Dricus du Plessis is a weird-ass fighter, man. Unpredictable. Of course, there is a method to the madness, but it still ain't a easy puzzle to solve. But then again, Khamzat Chimaev, like, he just goes for the takedown, and he doesn't even have to get the choke in at the freaking most dangerous way. As long as he just uses his raw power. Like, did you see what he did to Robert Whittaker's teeth, man? Dude, he practically misaligned his jaw and the whole bottom row of his teeth. Man, that's some crazy fucking stuff, dude. That's not okay. Okay, that I don't doubt. The willpower of both gentlemen. There's some crazy willpower in both gentlemen. I mean, I don't know, man. This is crazy. This is craziness. Both men are crazy. Both men are kind of crazy, dude. Both men got a splash of autism, dude. And if I just had to pick one, I mean, I didn't even land on a way this fight is gonna end, but I guess Khamzat Chimaev, because I think he's the scariest fighter ever in the UFC, and like, he's just terrifying. I know there's plenty of videos of him showing his like soft side, like dancing and being with children, but it's like, dude, some next level stuff, dude. Next level. It's scary, man. But I think if the DDP beats Khamzat Chimaev, I think DDP should be ranked as number 3 pound for pound in the world after Ilya Topuria and Islam Makhachev. As a white African, dude, up there. So this is going to be weird. This is going to be a weird one. I am going to have to say Khamzat Chimaev within 3 rounds. Just because I think on the feet, Khamzat is more powerful and could do more. And I think he does have the reach advantage, Khamzat Chimaev. No. Dricus has an inch longer. However, dude, it's just like, I don't know. Khamzat can eat shots too. Yes, Gilbert dropped him, but he ate him. He still ate him. And I don't think DDP is like the most accurate. I mean, dude, unless DDP does some fucking like leg kick masterclass, maybe. But no, I got to stop going back and forth. Khamzat Chimaev, submission within 3 rounds. Chechnyan power all the way. $7.7 billion power on Khamzat Chimaev. Hopefully on UFC 319. And if not, it's South African power, dude. Fucking for DDP, man. It's going to be a fun one. I hope it's going to be genuinely $7.7 billion worth of entertainment, which I think UFC are trying to build it up to be. So it's going to be an exciting Saturday night. I'm going to be having fun throughout the week because work is back and we're getting back to the routine. And we're feeling good. That's as simple as that. I won't keep y'all for any longer. I think I'll be reporting back next week. Maybe with a little something different. Before we head over to the U.S., to the promised land. That's right. This is why I'm talking only about these U.S. deals, because I'm going to be going over there in less than 2 weeks making those deals. All right. So there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's been great. Stay balling at what cost. UFC ballin at what cost? $7.7 billion. Cha-ching, baby. Stay balling. I'll see y'all next week.